This is a comparison of the Key Institute LORETA compared to the new NeuroGuide swLORETA viewer. It's also the swLORETA navigator, and we'll see why it is called a navigator as compared to a viewer, which the Key Institute is limited to. Now, the issue here is we actually have EEG from the same subject. We have two different NeuroGuides launched. The one on the left is the Key Institute. The one on the right is the swLORETA. And the issue is, can you see a volume mesial surface in swLORETA like you can in the Key Institute? Like if I click right hemisphere only in the Key Institute, you can see that you'll see the mesial surface, and then you'll see that there's a projection to the outer surface on the lateral side of the right hemisphere. And in swLORETA, here's the volume, and that you can see that it's normal on the left, just like the Key Institute. Similar z-scores, more accuracy with swLORETA, but with swLORETA you have the axial coronal down here and sagittal views that allow you to navigate through the brain. So if we want to, here's the sagittal view. I can go up to the sagittal view here and examine it. Now, if I want to see the mesial surface in one of these static views, up here in the sagittal, you'll see that there's the mesial surface with much greater detail than you see over here in the Key Institute on the left. There's a huge ventricle space in there. This is not, this is just a rendered cortex. This is a real MRI, but you can navigate and see that mesial surface. You can see it in detail. Go to the other side, and as I'm moving the coronal, the axial, the sagittal line in the coronal plane, and you can see the sagittal view in the upper right changing. Now, if you want to see that same in the volume, you can do that by clicking Setting, Surface Transparency, and I'm going to make it 0. Before I do that, I'll make it transparent, but before I do that, I'm going to create a sagittal slice. So here's a sagittal slice that will move through the brain as we move it around. So you can see the slice changing. So inside of swLORETA, you have the ability to look at a slice. Now, if you want to orient the brain a little bit better, just move a circle in the upper right-hand corner. I've now changed the brain so it's easier to see. You can see the sagittal slice through the mesial surface. And if I want to just get rid of this surface here so I can look in the volume onto the mesial surface, then I'm going to make transparency by clicking Settings, Surface Transparency equal to 100. I click OK. And now we got this same view here as in here, but this is a volume. It's just a slice. It's a single slice. I accidentally hit that. Need to get back into the plane of things. But you can see that that's what it is just a slice. And you can't do this with the Key Institute. It's just not available in the Key Institute. It's not a real MRI. And this is the mesial surface looking from the left side of the brain to the mesial surface of the right hemisphere. You do not have that in the Key Institute. Over here on the left, this is merely a projection to a surface. You also do not have a real MRI in the Key Institute. You can move it around, but you don't have the type of realistic control that you have with swLORETA. So there's no problem in examining the mesial surface. There it is. It's no problem to go all the way through the brain. If you want to do just the volume and nothing else, you can do that, and then you can change the sagittal controls up in the upper right-hand corner, and I can go through the brain, going all the way to the right side. Now we're going to go all the way to the left. This again is not available in the Key Institute LORETA. These are very powerful controls. Now I'm passing through the midline. Here's the ventricles, the thalamus, and corpus callosum. You can see as we go now through the brain to the other side. So now we're approaching the lateral surface of the left hemisphere. And now we're going to go back. So there's a lot more control, a lot more detail with swLORETA. This is simply not available in the Key Institute. You have this, but you can see it's missing the localization on the mesial surface of the right hemisphere because it's just a projection to the outer surface of the hemisphere. It's not showing true inverse solution in a volume that the swLORETA does. So it's useful for you to be aware of this and to take advantage of the huge power of swLORETA to visualize the brain, to analyze it in detail. So I'm going to bring that back to its orientation. And if you ever have problems getting things oriented correctly, you can click Settings, Orientation, and now I'm just going to move it to the right hemisphere and click Apply. Or to the left hemisphere and click Apply. Or horizontal, looking down on top of it, click Apply. So that's some of the advantages of the swLORETA compared to the Key Institute. There's huge navigational tools available in swLORETA, and the swLORETA Navigator is what we're looking at here, as opposed to the Key Institute viewer that is now obsolete and has not been updated since about 2002. But swLORETA is going to be updated repeatedly throughout